projects all through the lens of the Wyckoff method. If that's the sort of thing that tickles your fancy, then why don't you hit the subscribe button? I do this every single day, except for the days that I don't. So in today's video, we're just going to do a market update on the price of Ethereum. I also want to take a look at DIA, and I also want to take a look at Uni, a couple of the DeFi plays. So we're getting inside of the DeFi space. If you are interested in learning some of the methodology, I have a free Discord link down below. You can come in, join the community. There's plenty of free PDFs inside of the Discord, as well as some instructional videos, some free courses that I have put together for you guys to learn and educate yourselves inside of this market. It's really important if you're a new investor, which I know that there are a lot of you out there. Since the March madness that ensued, there has been quite a huge influx of new traders into this space. And it's very important that you spend the time now on your education so that you don't have to pay for it in the form of dollars. Pay for your education in the form of time. Don't pay for your education in the form of dollars. Trust me on that one. So let's dive into the price of Ethereum. So Ethereum, not seeing the same bullish momentum that we've seen recently in Bitcoin. I think that the play right now is Bitcoin, and that's kind of the cyclical nature of this market. There's always going to be this risk cycle that goes along with investing in cryptocurrency. And inside of this ecosystem, the least riskiest asset to invest in, quote unquote, is Bitcoin. Okay. So that's usually where the magic begins. People find the space with Bitcoin, not always, but often. They find it with Bitcoin, and once they start trading with Bitcoin, they realize that there's an entire ecosystem. There's basically an entire stock market of coins to choose from and coins to trade on. And as people become more comfortable with the risk associated with this asset class, they start hedging their bets into some more riskier plays. So typically what you see is you get a big move in Bitcoin. That brings confidence in the space. People start to invest into some of the more well-known altcoins, Ethereum, XRP, EOS, Cardano, you name it, the top 10 coins basically. And then from that point, we trickle down into the top 20, we trickle down into the top 50, the top 100. And once we're passing top 100, pretty much everything goes, and anything that you touch turns to gold at that point. It's also at that point that you really need to start taking profits and thinking about the crash that's coming, because this market is extremely volatile. It is extremely high risk, and it fluctuates, it booms and busts on a quarterly basis, it seems. So be prepared for those crashes. Holding a cash position is very, very important to your strategy, because you need to buy the dip. And I'm not talking about that 10% dip. I'm not talking about that 20% dip. I'm talking about that 30, 40, 50% dip in Bitcoin. Those are the ones that you buy. Those are the ones that scare the crap out of everybody in the market. And those are your best buying opportunities. So you better be ready. The best way to be ready is to have a cash position. So that's a free pro tip from me for today. But yeah, inside of Ethereum, we're just lagging. We're lagging behind Bitcoin. It's kind of a hard read. We did have a very significant sign of weakness, but this came at a market crash, so we can't put too much value on that. We can just kind of restart the trend. And it looks like we're consolidating. We're consolidating on nice volume. We've got supply spikes. We've got demand spikes. We're just range bound right now. So until we can get outside of this area right here, until we can get outside of the range, test the range and start moving up, we can expect to be range bound until that trend ends, basically. So trend is your friend until it ends. Let's go ahead and take a look at Uni. So price of Uni is at $3.15, give or take. It's not a very new coin. We can take a look. The overall trend is down, but it's flattening out. So there is a change of character that has happened here. So we were in a downtrend, right? In a downtrend, and then all of a sudden we changed directions, and now we're trading sideways. This is what's referred to as a change of character. Okay? This is indicated by a little bit of volume. We didn't get a huge spike. I do like to see the big spikes coming in on the volume, but that's okay. We got a little bit of volume coming in, indicating a little bit of a stopping action. Oops, zoomed way too much in there. So we do have a stopping action, which is good. So let's just stretch this out a little bit, see what we can see. So these volume spikes are what you really want to pay attention to. So they're going to indicate that we refer to as Composite Man. We observe the movements of the composite operator. We observe the movements of Composite Man, or in this ecosystem of crazy cryptocurrency, the whale. Okay, so the whale, we need to observe the whale. This is the retail trader. This is the amateur investor. This is even some institutions. This is just the general everyday volume. This is the composite operator. This is Composite Man. This is the whale. We need to pay attention to what the whales are thinking, because what the whales are thinking, more often than not, are right. So we need to ride the whale of that tail and be on the right side of the trade. So taking a look, we saw an increase in volume. This is indicating a stopping action in the price. So this is tentatively our seller's climax. So we're going to start the range here. We're just going to draw it on right here. And we came up to our automatic rally right here, indicated by this huge volumes candle here. You know what? We might even drag it down to the top of that wick. Okay, so this was the stopping action here. This would be our automatic rally. And then we didn't get much of a secondary test, but that's okay. So we did come up above the range, came back inside, came up above it, came down to the mean. So there is a bit of strength, but the strength is kind of waning at this point. Taking a look at this volume signature right here, what is the story telling us? A bit of a doji. So this is uncertainty. We got a wick above, we got a wick below. A lot of uncertainty on this volume candle here. Let's take a look here. This is a sign of weakness, but it got bought up. Okay, we had the price was falling. Take a look at this candle right here. So this candle was a 3.72% move to the downside. This candle was a 5.2% move to the downside. So this candle right here, look at how low the volume was. So it was very easy. There was very little effort involved to make the price fall nearly 4%. Whereas here, the 5% candle required 4 times as much volume, 4 times the amount of effort to make it fall that hard. What is that saying? That says that the buyers are stepping in. So because the buyers are stepping in, we have low volatility inside of phase B here. Composite Man is not selling his shares, so we really need to just see how this plays out. The best and safest way for us to see how this plays out, it's going to go 2 different ways. We're either going to have a sell-off that falls through the floor. That is going to get bought back up into the range as what's referred to as a spring. So the springs are very powerful, but given the lack of volatility inside of phase B here, I'm going to go ahead and say that there's a high probability that that does not happen. It could happen, but as far as the health of the asset right now, it may not. So we may actually go outside of the range and look for a test. If we can get a test, this is called a backup phase. Backup slash last point of support, LPS. So we can come out of the range, hold the top of the range as support, and continue our markup. We would then enter right at the break of this level right here. Okay, so yeah, it seems like you're waiting a long time before you actually make an entry, but you want to look for confirmation. You want to confirm that we are actually headed into a markup phase. So waiting for those confirmations is the best way for you to protect your capital. Not only that, but you can place a stop below, protect your capital. Always use a stop loss. Stop loss should really be part of your strategy. You never want to risk more than 2% of your trading portfolio in any given trade. So the best way for you to leverage a good amount of money into this market is by using a stop loss. If you're not going to use a stop loss, 2% of your portfolio is not much money. But if you're only risking 2% of your portfolio by using a stop loss of 5, 10, 15, 20%, now your position size is a lot larger. So if you are on the right side of the trade, your payoff is going to be a lot better. So things to consider when deciding how large of a position you should be taking inside of a trade. If you're interested in learning a little bit more about the methodology inside of this space and inside of trading, and also a little bit about the Wyckoff method, I encourage you to join the Discord down below. It's a free community. Well, most of the resources, if I didn't come up with it myself, I have curated it myself and I have put it in the Discord down below. We have plenty of free PDFs. I have a couple instructional videos as well that are free. Nothing too advanced, just kind of trading view tutorials and stuff like that, as well as a community of traders that you can bounce ideas off of. I can only do these videos I try to do them every day, but some days I don't. And if you want to have access to what it is that I'm thinking about a project that you're interested in, well, we can chart and we can learn together inside of the Discord. So if that interests you, link is down below in the description. So the next project I want to take a look at is DIA. This one always kind of throws me for a loop because I think it's Ethereum's DAI, but no, it's DIA. I don't know much about the project, but I do know analysis. So let's go ahead and just see what I can see. It's a relatively new project. It's available on Binance. I don't really know the age of the project, but you can see this flattening out. So here, look at the volume spike. We've got a huge volume spike right here. This is indicating a stopping action. So this would be referred to as a PS, a preliminary support. We can go ahead and just, let's throw a range on here. So we'll bring that over here. Yeah, right about there. Automatic rally. Okay, good. So we don't need the RSI. I very rarely use any indicator outside of volume and price action. So right here we had our decline, right? That was met with a change of character. We went from a downtrend to a sideways trending space. So that is a change of character, Okay, when we have the change of character, we want to start applying our Wyckoff method to analyze the trading range. So right here, we have our preliminary support. I'm calling that a preliminary support because we got a nice bounce off of that area, but it was met on low volume, okay? Then we came back down and we got our true seller's climax because you can see Composite Man is stepping in. We got a nice volume spike. That is our seller's climax. That was met with the automatic reaction right here. And then we came down to our secondary test. So those three signals inside of the market is phase A. Phase A sets the trading range. So the trading range is set. And now we need to analyze the price to interpret how the price is behaving inside of that trading range. We did kind of fall here. You could see the rounding here. This is showing a sign of weakness. This is very typical of a sign of weakness. You gain momentum, and fall. You capitulate, basically. So we came out of that. That was met with strong demand. We got a nice demand, three beautiful demand signatures coming in here. We bought ourselves back up into the range. That's a spring. If I've ever seen one, that is a spring right there. And since the spring, we've been going up. We got to the top of the range. We did not have the momentum that was required to get outside of the range and hold. You know, the best setup, the strongest setup you can see is when you get out of the range, you come up above, and you test the top of the range and you take off. But that did not happen, which is fine. It just means we need to analyze the price a little bit further. Yeah, we're just kind of seeing how the price action responds at this point. We could come down to the bottom of the range. There's really not a lot of support below us. You can see here that we're just holding on to the point of control right here on the VPVR. The VPVR is showing the amount of volume at any given price. This is the total volume on any given candle. This is the total volume on any given price. And the price level with the most volume is tentatively holding us here. We would want to see an LPS form and again, make a break for this top of the range, get out of the range, make a test on top, change direction, forming a higher high, forming a higher low, and initiating a new uptrend or a new change of character into markup. That would signify a lot of strength going up into markup. Well, that is all the time I have for today. If you enjoyed the content, please leave it a like. Don't forget to subscribe. And if there are any projects that you would like me to take a look at, please leave them in the comment section down below. And I can't wait to see you in the next video. Please trade safe out there. It is a jungle. We will see you next time. Peace.